Hey baby dolls, it's Ashley. Today I'm going to be filming a get ready with me / story time. So if you want to see how I achieved this look and hear a crazy story about me getting robbed at knife point at one of my jobs, keep watching. For the sake of time, there are going to be some things that I do off camera. For instance, I did already moisturize and prime using these two products. Right now, I am using the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Setting and Finishing Powder in light medium to just put a little bit of prepping powder on my face. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get in with the story. I would probably have to say this is one of the most interesting, if you will, stories I could tell, but it sucked. It sucked a lot. So basically for, gosh, several years, I want to say at the time, it had been about 5.5, maybe 5 years that I had been working for this hotel. I won't say the name of the hotel, but I did work at the front desk. I was working there, second shift, 5 nights a week, and one night, it was pretty close to the end of my shift. I want to say it happened around 9 something, 10 o'clock. The guy walks in and he's got his whole face covered. He's wearing long sleeves and he had something covering his face up to here and then something over his head that came down to here, so I could just see a small strip that like showed his eyes. And he walked in the door and pretty much, I didn't look up right away. I was doing homework or something on my laptop and I didn't look up right away. So by the time I looked up, he was standing right in front of me on the other side of the front desk. Real quick, I'm using the Nuance by Salma Hayek Flawless Finish Liquid Foundation in the shade light medium cool 275. So I look up and this guy is standing on the opposite side of the desk from me and he pulls a plastic bag, like a grocery bag, out of his pocket. And so I stood up and I put my hands up like this. It was November. I'll always remember the date was November 10th because my birthday is November 9th and it happened the day after my birthday. I said, you know, you can have whatever you want, just take it, you know, whatever. I wasn't going to fight with anyone or argue with anyone. We only kept $200 cash in the drawer at a time anyway. I don't know why he felt the need to do this because it was really obvious that I wasn't going to fight, I wasn't going to argue, I was just going to give him whatever he wanted. But he had a knife and he put the knife up to my body, like it was touching my, like the middle of my stomach near my side. And, you know, he asked which drawer had the money in it, and I told him and I pointed to it and I said, you know, right there, and it's not locked right now. I said, you know, it's right there, just get it. And I kept trying to just back up, like I just kept trying to get further and further away from him. You know, I didn't want to be close to him. He put a knife up against my body. I was afraid he was going to stab me. And, you know, especially considering the fact that I didn't want to fight with him. I just wanted him to take the money and leave. You know, I didn't want to get hurt. So I kept trying to back away from him. And I told him what, you know, where the money was and everything. But for whatever reason, he refused to get it himself. He told me to open the drawer and get it for him. But I was so like flustered that I kept, like, I just wasn't moving fast enough. I don't know. I guess he got pissed off, whatever. I mean, I don't know how he expected me to feel, like, hello. And he did wind up taking the money out himself. So he takes the money out, he throws it in his stupid grocery bag, and he looks at me and he says, "You better not call the police. I know where you stay at." He jumps back over the counter and he runs out the door. I don't know. I mean, there was a door. I don't know why he jumped over the counter. I don't know who the hell he thought he was. And he runs out the door. So I called my mom, then I called the owner of the hotel, and then I called the cops because that was just my priorities. I don't know why. Everybody says, "Oh, I would have done this or I would have done that," but you never know what you're going to do in a situation like that until you're in it. So obviously I called the cops. They came. They got my story, everything, whatever. So everything's fine. You know, it sucks, whatever, but it's over, right? Wrong. The next night, he comes back. Same guy comes back, and when he came back the second night, I mean, I straight up looked at him and I was like, "Are you serious?" And even the cops were like, "You know, this never happens. This is like lightning striking the same place twice. I can't believe this happened." Whatever. So it's, you know, it sucks, and it was awful. I was having nightmares and I was scared. I was making people come sit with me for my shifts. Like, I didn't want to be there. This guy told me he supposedly knew where I lived. He came back twice. Like, you know, I was scared. I really was. And it was a nightmare. I mean, it was terrible. It was so bad. So, of course, you know, whatever. The cops were not great about it. And robberies kept happening in and around the town I lived in. So eventually, about a month and a half maybe after the guy robs me, the guy goes and tries to rob one of those We Buy Gold stores. And at this point, he had graduated to a gun. Only, turns out it wasn't a real gun. It was one of those like BB/pellet guns that's meant to look like a pistol. It's meant to look like a handgun, but it just actually shoots BBs or pellets or whatever. So he goes to rob this We Buy Gold store, and the clerk punches him in the face, breaks his nose, knocks him out, and calls the police. The guy comes to, but the clerk held him there until the police got there. And so the police finally caught him. I guess the actual update to the story is that at this point, you know, I know who it is. I know the guy's name and what he looks like, and I know, you know, they tell you when you're the victim of a violent crime, the name and everything of the person who perpetrated the crime against you. They tell you that. The police tell you. So I know who it is. And I know that he lives in the same town as me. And I happen to know also now that he's not in prison anymore. And so a couple weeks ago, I actually ran in to the guy who robbed me at his new place of employment. And I don't want to, you know, say that what it is in the video or anything like that, but just, you know, that it happened, that I went into this place as a regular customer and wound up running into this guy face to face. And the thing is that I really wanted to approach him and talk to him. You know what I mean? Like, a very big part of me wanted to really be like, you know, I kind of feel like you owe me an apology. Like, you know, like, I'm not even really that mad at you or anything like that. Like, I've moved past it. It's over. It is what it is. I've gotten over it. You know, although there are a lot of permanent mental and emotional wounds there, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I have, for the most part, gotten past it. It's the powder I'm using, the Cody Airspun. But I'm not mad at him. I forgive him. I hope that he has found enough peace in his life that he no longer finds it necessary to do things like that. Really. So, this video has gotten really long, way longer than it should be. So I think I'm just going to do the rest of my face makeup on camera, but just kind of time lapse through a lot of it. Just so that this video is not 8 years long. Alright, so that at least is my entire face routine on camera. I'm going to go ahead and do my lips in the Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color, and this is in the shade 640 HD Embrace. And then I'm going to do my eyes off camera to save some time. Alright, so my eyes are done. I used the Rimmel Scandalize in Nude, the NYX eyeshadow base in White, the e.l.f. Brow Duo in Medium, the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette, and the Almay One Coat Mega Volume Mascara. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you love this look, and I will talk to you all again so soon. I love you. Don't forget to leave me thumbs up and subscribe before you go. Bye!